Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on a Tuesday. A couple different things we're discussing. It's a, what'd you call it, a breakdown Tuesday?
Preview Tuesday. It's a preview Tuesday. We had that going all football season. Reaction Monday, preview Tuesday, prediction Thursday.
That's right.
We'll go through all that this week. It's the final time of this calendar year that we will do that whole rundown for a week. This is basically another college football week. Got the game on Saturday, and we go through the whole deal. We had the press conference on Monday. You heard a lot of the audio, good chunk of the audio from both coaches. Mm-hmm. Utah State was on Monday. Al Lewis, he's the one that recorded the Sean Elliott clips, and he said that press conference was on like Friday. So
yeah, it was last week.
I guess they were doing it a little early, but the Aggies had their typical press conference on Monday. Heck, we're going to have another press conference on Wednesday, tomorrow. That'll be the early signing day. I don't know what the official terminology is, but basically signing day.
Yeah, early signing period.
And so they're going to be signing a bunch of guys, a bunch, transfers. Will be, signing their official paperwork as far as transferring to Utah State. A bunch of high school kids. We'll get the full list there. And so we'll spend more time talking about the recruiting on that day and get all that sorted out. So we'll have a recruitment Wednesday. We talk about
there you go.
all the guys that and also be high school basketball tomorrow as well. A lot of games going to be starting.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of this week's games starting tomorrow. But, yeah, a lot of football today. Previewing this matchup. Georgia State coming in on a 5-game losing streak, but they're going to try and, get a winning season. Lost a lot of guys to the portal. Aggies trying to overcome some of their own losses, largely through injury. They did lose Devin Dye, who did commit to Kansas earlier today. Had offers from Kansas State and Utah, but his brother plays at Kansas, so it's like that was probably going to be the obvious choice there.
Yeah, that's a cool opportunity.
So Utah striking out on both of the Aggies' safeties. They wanted Ike Larson, then they wanted Devin Dye. They don't get either of them.
Yeah, they get none.
So, so we'll continue previewing. We've already started the preview, but throughout all this week, but there's been a lot to go over today.
Yeah. One thing we did not get to do last hour was hear from some of the Aggie players. And we will get into a little bit more Jazz talk. They had a nice win last night. Former Aggie player had a great night in the NBA. We'll talk about his night. But we're just kind of a carryover from last hour, previewing Utah State and Georgia State. And some great comments from Hale Motu'apuaka. And rather than just cut it up, we just felt like, let's just give it to him raw. And this is Hale and his availability with the media yesterday. One, talking about getting ready for Georgia State, but also getting recognized to play in the Hula Bowl, which he was invited to. So he'll share his comments on that as well. So this is Hale Motu'apuaka.
All right, we got senior defensive tackle Hale Motu'apuaka. This will be Hale's last game as well. It will be his 58th career game at Utah State, which is the second most in school history. You guys can go ahead and ask Hale questions.
Hale, Jason Walker with Cache Valley Daily. Just kind of starting with obviously long time here at Utah State. This can be your last game. Just looking back, what do you feel like your legacy has been, and then also just talk about the emotions of this being your last game after such a long time here.
I'm just very grateful that I get to play my last game. Battled through injuries, especially this season, but just grateful that I'm healthy and I'm able to play my last game as an Aggie. It's I don't know. I haven't really thought about it too much. I'm just excited to go out there and play with my boys one more time. It's represent Utah State. I've been here for a while, and I'm just grateful that I've been here this whole time and experienced what I've experienced.
Hey, Hale, Al Lewis from KVNU. What does it mean to get selected for the Hula Bowl, even though it's not in Hawaii? It used to be all the time. But what does that mean to you to be an Aggie to represent us there?
It's an honor, honestly. Like you said, I've always heard of the Hula Bowl. Used to go watch it growing up. But sadly, because of everything that's going on in Hawaii, they had to move it to Orlando. But it's still, it's somewhere warm. It's somewhere warm to play. So I'm very grateful and I'm honored for this opportunity to, like you said, represent Utah State, represent my family, and represent the Polynesian culture as well. It's just another opportunity for me to go out there and show my worth, and it helps me get one step closer to getting closer to playing in the NFL, living out my dream.
I'll ask you another one. Georgia State had one of the best running backs in the country, and he decided to go in the portal, so he's not there. But do you feel like, looking at it, it's a system that can be a good running attack that you guys have to defend? I mean, the guy who's backing him up rushed for 1,000 on another school before he was there. So what do you feel about going against their running attack?
I respect their running attack a lot. They're a tough group of guys. Yeah, we haven't got to watch too much film of the second string running back because of how much carries the guy that was in the transfer portal got. But just watching their scheme, how they operate the offense, it's really quick. Honestly, it's the closest to our offense in terms of their fast tempo. So we've been preparing for that, making sure that we're in the best shape possible to compete against that fast tempo offense. And it's going to be exciting to play against a team from the Sun Belt. Yeah, excited for this opportunity.
Is the quarterback, he looks like he's a real threat at running, throwing, all that kind of stuff. Is he
Yes.
about as dynamic as anybody you played?
Most definitely. He kind of reminds me of a Taylor Green type guy. He's a senior. I know this is his last game as well, representing or playing for his school, representing his school. So I know he's going to give it his all. So we're prepared to see his very best. Especially because he doesn't have some of his main targets or some other dynamic players on offense. I can really expect for him to carry that load, because now that running back left, he's the leading rusher, and I think he had almost 600 yards, 100 something carries. So we're expecting his very best.
Hale, Jason Turner from the Herald Journal. You're going to be facing a pretty green offensive line. They lost 3 guys, a couple to the portal, a guy to an injury, including a first-team All-Sun Belt selection. So how big of an opportunity is this for the defensive line to potentially gain some momentum heading into the offseason?
Yeah, it's very important. We're aware of that, but at the same time, we always got to respect our opponents. I've been in that situation of being a backup, and I remember once I got my opportunity, how hungry I was to make the most of it. So, a lot of these guys probably going to have a chip on their shoulder and trying to prove that, just because they haven't got that many reps, that they've been preparing for that moment. So, it's a big thing for us to go out there and play hard and, kind of out tough and out physical them as much as we can. We've had a great couple of weeks to recover our body and to get back into the swing of things, get faster, get stronger. And so that's what we plan on doing. We have to make the most of this opportunity and try and be as productive as we can.
Hale, Eric Frandsen with 106.9 The Fan. This week, in this whole bowl preparation, it's a great celebration for the seniors and for the team, but it's also an opportunity to build on the future for the younger and the underclassmen. What have you observed during this last week in getting ready for the bowl and looking to the future for the football program there at USU?
Honestly, I've seen a lot of fire. We got like a little week off right after New Mexico, and then the past 2 weeks before that, we were running and lifting and doing PRPs, play run practices, and you could definitely see that there's a fire. Coach Jackson, Coach A, all the coaches that have been here, they've been emphasizing, this is the last game of the season, but this is the first game of next season. And I can see that a lot. I see a lot of the boys, especially on the defensive side, putting in the extra work. Ike, all the DBs, they're up on weekends, morning in the indoors, perfecting their craft. All the young defensive linemen getting extra lifts in and stuff like that. It's just good to see that. Build upon what we did this year. I really have a lot of confidence for the team next year. I'm really excited to follow them and see how well they do.
Certainly gets me excited for how this week may go for Utah State. To hear Hale describe what the attitude is and has been in these practices so far.
Yeah, that's something that him and Terrell Vaughn, who we also heard from, talked about. to where, and we've discussed this on this show, where the overall program momentum appears to be heading up. I know we've got two guys that spoke at the press conference that are on their way out. They're obviously both graduating, but they can see it in the guys that are up and coming. Bowl games, it's kind of a combination of, we're talking about how it sets up for next year, but for these guys, it's also their last hurrah. So they're trying to have their last big game, but they're also watching a program that they've come to love, and they're hoping for its future success, and they're optimistic about its future success.
Yeah, so let's hear from Vaughn and what he had to say earlier this week, given his, his views, his what the preparation has been like, and what the scouting Georgia State initially looks like for USU, getting ready for the famous Idaho Potato Bowl on Saturday.
All right, got senior wide receiver Terrell Vaughn. Obviously, Terrell's playing in his last game this weekend in the bowl game. You guys can ask him questions.
Terrell, Jason Walker with Cache Valley Daily. I guess start with it being your last game. What are the feelings and emotion like knowing you're preparing for last game of your college career?
For me, it's honestly the same thing, but there are some obviously emotions at the end towards when you see the 000. So, but prepare is still the same. Still want to go out there and compete and win.
Terrell, Jason Turner from the Herald Journal. You really had a good game last year when you went to Boise on the road, that regular season finale. So maybe how much of a kind of an extra special feel is it for you that your last game is on a turf that you really excelled during your time at Utah State?
It's a great feeling, honestly. So I honestly want to capitalize on that and do even better, because that was probably like my best game last year. That was my first ever to do good there. So that was finally getting comfortable with the offense and everything. So now that I'm more comfortable with everything and understand everything more, I'm going to do much better there.
Hey, Terrell, Lewis from KVNU. Just evaluate the Utah State program since you've been here now, where you feel it when you came and where you feel it is now. What do you think towards the future for us?
Oh, they're nothing but growing right now. All I see is on commitments coming in, some great ones actually. So Jalen Roy's going to do his job next year. I already know that. And it's going to be here on up for them. I wish it could be another year, but too bad I can't.
Terrell, Eric Frandsen with 106.9 The Fan. What's the practice has been like this recently? That sometimes we hear coaches say this is an opportunity to prep more the younger players, but it's also an opportunity to reward the senior players going to a bowl game. But what have the practices been like so far leading up to this week?
It's honestly been the same around. We kind of had a little off time to get our bodies back, and we got back into running about for a week or so. And then we had practice regularly, and then got some new guys in there that, because of the transfer portal, so helped step up and stuff like that. So it's nothing been different with practice.
Hey, Terrell, it looks like for Georgia State, some of their better players are secondary players on their defense. What do you see of them, how they're going to play against you? What's your scouting report against them?
They're physical. They lost pretty sure their star receiver and running back. I think some DBs to that too, but we don't treat anyone lightly at all. So got to go out and compete.
But the one guy has 4 interceptions in the secondary at corner. What do you see of their secondary as you studied them?
They're long and physical, and they run very well. Just got to play with technique. What Coach Steph teaches us throughout the week. Trust that.
Terrell, Jason Walker again. Just talk about this offense with Levi Williams. You guys have obviously played with a bunch of different quarterbacks throughout the year because of health and whatnot. What's the offense like when Levi's there with what he adds, and obviously with his legs, but also just what's he like as a passer as well, leading this offense?
I see no difference in quarterbacks. They all do the same exact thing. Each one has their own specialty, but Levi just, as you see in New Mexico, he could do anything, honestly. But it's great to have him back there, honestly, for his last game, too, as well. So he's got to go back there and support him, have his back.
And Terrell, one more for me. Just, this is at Boise State. It's kind of what used to be known as hostile territory in the regular season, but this is an opportunity for your Aggie fans to come and watch you. What would it mean for you and your teammates to have a good crowd of Aggie fans there for the bowl game?
It's always everything to us having home field advantage, but seeing obviously Aggie Nation on the side and the USU herd, it'd be amazing because they're coming from far distance. So it's going to be great for us, an advantage, fans-wise.
Okay, so there's Terrell Vaughn, and some of his thoughts and reactions to getting ready for Georgia State.
Yeah, it's a big game for these guys, obviously, with Hale and Terrell trying to, again, have that one last hurrah, playing in one final bowl game. Obviously, there's emotions of playing in their final game, but they're going to give it one last go. And obviously both are very much aware that the other team has lost one of their several of their key players at several different positions, but obviously both are still expecting a good game out of Georgia State. And I expect it will be a good game. There's every chance this is going to be a thriller of a bowl game because both teams still have weapons. Both teams still have weaknesses that can be exploited by the other team. Utah State can exploit some weaknesses of Georgia State and vice versa. So either team could end up carrying the day very easily on Saturday.
Yeah, so I think Utah State is favored in this one.
Well, they come out with lines,
but they're not by much.
Yeah, I would expect them to be favored. The losses of so many of those players you'd expect, and I mean even with those players, maybe Georgia State might be a slight favorite, but
currently Aggies by 2.5.
Yeah, so that may have slid, with Utah State's struggles against the run, if they would have had, their top running back, some of their other top offensive linemen, that would have helped. But yeah, it's still, I think, teams that are largely going to be even. Both teams missing some star players, probably more so on Georgia State's side. But two teams that are, they're both 6-6. And they both got there. I mean, they got there in different ways, but again, also similar. Because as I mentioned in the first hour, Georgia State getting there because they played their easy part of their schedule like all in the first 6-7 games. They played one difficult game in their first 7 games. That was the game they lost. Then the last 5 games, that was most of their more difficult opponents. They played 2 ranked teams throughout the end of the regular season. I don't even think James Madison was one of those ranked teams, and they played them as well. So their strength of schedule was split down the middle.
Yeah.
Where it was, downhill, easy sledding, and then all of a sudden it's just straight uphill as far as strength of schedule. The Aggies was mixed. So even though both teams took very different season paths where the Aggies just went up and down almost like a heartbeat, and Georgia State just looks like a mountain peak, basically.
Yeah, that's right.
Both teams did well against lesser teams, did poorly against better teams. So what happens when two teams that fit that archetype of they're not the worst, but they're definitely not in the top tier? What happens when those two teams meet on a football field? It can create an exciting game.
Yeah, it really can. It really can, and it might just come down to who just wants it more.
Yeah, both coaches said as much. Who wants it more? We'll find out. We'll find out very much on Saturday.
Talent level should be pretty similar, and who is available, who isn't available, kind of affecting both teams. So a reminder that the pregame coverage on KVNU will start at 12:30, and all right, I wonder if it'll start sooner than that. I don't know if they're doing an expanded special pregame or not. I got to double check with that.
Yeah, we'll ask Al.
Yeah,
but are you doing longer pregame?
Yeah, but hopefully we get a lot of Aggie fans there to cheer on Utah State. And if you do plan on going, make sure you get your tickets through the Utah State ticket office. We're going to take a time out here in the Full Court Press. We'll shift gears. Utah Jazz had a big night last night, and so did a former Aggie in the NBA. We'll discuss that coming up next here on the Full Court Press.
I am Gary from Salt Lake in Logan today doing our traditional annual Christmas shopping that we do and have been doing for the last 20 plus years at the Sportsman. We love the service and the people that work there. We love the way that we're treated, something that we cannot experience in Salt Lake City. The selection they have and the quality of merchandise they have, as far as I'm concerned, is second to none.
Welcome, friend, nice to see you again at the Sportsman.
Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical. I'd like to invite you to learn more about us. Since 1997, we've been Utah's premier one-stop shop for home medical equipment. What sets us apart at Alpine Home Medical is the superior level of customer service. We provide home oxygen, CPAPs, wheelchairs, scooters, breast pumps, and so much more. Come on down and get to know us.
Alpine Home
Visit alpinehomemedical.com.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
Not everyone has been in an accident, but everyone knows someone who has. If you or a loved one has been hurt in a car, truck, motorcycle, cycling, or pedestrian accident, call the Advocates today, now with offices in Cache Valley. The Advocates offer free consultations. Talk with an experienced attorney and let an advocate guide you through your case and take over the stress of phone calls with the insurance company so you can rest and get better. You didn't deserve to be in an accident, but you do deserve an advocate. Chat online at utahadvocates.com or call 801-355-5550.
While you're doing whatever it is you do, we're testing, retesting, engineering, and re-engineering to keep up with you. We run together.
Your local Train dealer, JM Mechanical, has moved to 222 West 2850 North, North Logan, just north of Airport Road. Fast 24-hour heating service is available in Box Elder, Cache County, and Franklin County with a 100% satisfaction guarantee.
It's hard to stop a train.
Are you interested in a new career opportunity? Are you wanting great pay, benefits, and the potential for career growth? Spartronics is looking for talented individuals to join their team in a production position to manufacture circuit boards and build life-saving innovations for a better future. See what Spartronics is all about and what they might have to offer you. Located here in beautiful Cache Valley at 750 East, 1600 North in North Logan, Spartronics is a fresh start for your new career. To find out more, go to spartronics.com.
The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
Hey, let Crystal Vision fit you into a new look for the new year. Glasses that fit your style that are made for you. Find out more at crystalvision.com. Big game last night for the Utah Jazz, reminding us that they do, in fact, know how to play good basketball.
Really?
And it was entertaining. Some good performances across multiple positions on the court. And Utah Jazz getting a win. Now, the question is, can they string multiple together? Can they replicate that? Certainly it helps when guys are starting to come back and healthy, because this team has had a lot of guys hurt or out for various ailments, and they're starting to come back. But that certainly does make a difference. But last night, Jazz beating the Brooklyn Nets 125-108. And a couple of great performances by the guards, with Colin Sexton scoring 27 and Taylor Horton-Tucker another 27.
Yeah, and well, you talk about the getting some guys back. I think it's no coincidence that the Jazz have won 3 out of their last 4, and in 2 of those wins, you've had Lauri Markkanen. That's going to help a lot. But yeah, as you mentioned, the guard's playing pretty well, and I'll tell you what, Colin Sexton, having himself a little stretch here, where he's averaging, I think over the last 5 games, he's at 5 straight 20-plus point games. So he's averaging like 26, 27 points over a 5-game stretch and shooting it very efficiently. So, yeah, it's and even Taylor Horton-Tucker putting together a couple of decent games. So
yeah, Walker Kessler back into the starting lineup, where he's been coming off the bench, kind of easing back into things with his elbow injury. 14 points, 14 rebounds, 5 blocks for Kessler.
Yeah, that's the Walker Kessler that we've been wanting to see, and I think as much as I really wanted the Lauri Markkanen, John Collins, Walker Kessler front court to work, I wanted that to work so badly I was trying to speak into existence. But I think probably keep trying it out a little bit this season, but I think it's time to focus. Like the starting lineup they had out there last night was Simone, Fontecchio, Markkanen, and Kessler. Let's just roll with something like that. Put Markkanen at the 4. I don't know which one you consider, a Fontecchio or Markkanen to be the 3 or the 4 in that scenario, but I think Will Hardy talked about playing John Collins at the 5, and maybe just bring him off the bench. That may be the best place to put him, is have him come in for Kessler, play small ball, let Kessler be that dominant big while not having some of the spacing and ball movement issues they have when they have that, front court out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's he's still experimenting with his lineup, trying to figure out what works. And last night found an interesting lineup that did work.
At this point, it's not experimenting. It's what do I have left?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. We're deep enough into the season now where he should have an idea of what he does and does not have.
Yeah, but a lot of times he doesn't know what he does and doesn't have because he has to wait for the injury report. It's like, all right, who's healthy this week?
Yeah, that's true.
Who can I actually play in the game? But the answer is never Bryce Sensabaugh and is rarely Taylor Hendricks.
Yeah, I mean, Hendricks saw 7 minutes last night, but
that was disappointing, though. 7 minutes? Play the man minutes. Like, I get Markkanen's coming back and, having Collins, back in the lineup.
Very minimal impact.
Yeah, it's going to, whenever Markkanen and Collins are healthy, and I guess in any game where Markkanen, Olynyk, and Collins are all healthy, Taylor Hendricks is going to get basically 0 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because we saw some pretty good flashes of him, not in terms of, oodles of statistical production, but just in terms of impact.
Right.
And that's what you drafted him for. He's not a guy that came in with tons of ability to produce. He came in as a 3-and-D, impactful, weak side rim protector, occasional small ball 5, but a guy who can also stretch the floor. At least that's his potential. I don't think his shooting numbers were great, but he shows potential. In that area.
But Keontae George, he did not play. He is still hurt.
Still got that
that's a left foot
soreness.
Yes. And that they continue to evaluate that. But in his place, you brought up Colin Sexton, and he's been playing really solid minutes. He's been trying, even though they've been struggling these last few weeks, he has consistently been trying to bring some energy and help his team where he can.
Yeah, what we're seeing out of Colin Sexton is a lot of what Cavaliers fans saw for a couple of years in Sexton's first, few seasons in the NBA. And as a rookie, he averaged like 16, but then he had 2 straight seasons of 20-plus points per game. This is a guy who can go out and score, and he can do so efficiently. Like in those 2 seasons where he was scoring 20-plus points, topping out at 24.5 points per game, he was shooting 47% from the field, 38% from 3. This is a guy who can be a very efficient scoring guard. Now, his playmaking, iffy. He's only ever topped out at 4.5 assists per game, which is, and even then, a lot of those assists are more generated just from his scoring, and they're not really playmaking assists, true point guard type assists, however you want to call it. So his playmaking ability and ability to run an offense still probably isn't there, but we are seeing the value of a guy like Colin Sexton, a scoring guard who can go out there and get points. And it's valuable, and it's certainly played a big factor in the Jazz getting, again, these 3 wins in the last 4 games, or best stretch of the season so far.
Yeah, so far. And so they've got, now they hit the road. Now they've got some games that they leave the friendly confines. They go to Cleveland on Wednesday, then Detroit on Thursday, back-to-back. And they're at Toronto on Saturday, and then they go down to Texas to take on San Antonio the day after Christmas, and finish the road trip at New Orleans on Thursday, December 28th. So kind of, jet setting across the United States and even into Canada. But there's a stretch there where they can pick up some wins with that schedule ahead of them. And maybe pick up a little bit of momentum going into a much tougher stretch when they get into January.
So looking at the thing with this road trip, though, that really has me worried, and I'm noting down the exact statistics here, but looking at home and road splits, it's not pretty. Jazz 8-5 at home. Decentish team. They average 118.5 points, allow just under 116 points. So a small, net points there. Go to the road, and 2-12. Slightly worse.
Yeah, not near as good.
Just over 106 points per game, and 123 points allowed per game. Haven't done the math on exactly what split that is. It's too big for me to do in my head really quick. Is that 17? I think it's 17. Just under 17. It's like 16.7. Minus 16.7 point differential on the road, and you're at like 2 or 3. I think just under 3 at home, plus 3. So yeah, going on a road trip is not a great sign for the Jazz, where they can't figure out how to play on the road. They've not really done it. They've only got the 2 wins on the road. So maybe there's a chance for the Jazz to discover themselves and their ability to play when they're not in the Delta Center. Like, do we need to just go to the road arena and just spray paint Delta Center on the top and be like, guys, it's the Delta Center. You're actually in Salt Lake City.
That's right.
Get a cardboard cutout of the Salt Lake Temple and just like
put it out the window.
Yeah. Like, hey, look at where you are. We just flew you out of Salt Lake and back in. Surprise.
6391 with the text saying, just wanted to shout out Ryan Smith. A friend of mine got in a wreck on his way to the Jazz game last night, so he missed it. Ryan found out, is hooking his family up with tickets to a game coming up.
That's very nice of him.
That's awesome.
I've heard a lot of good stories about Ryan Smith, where he's just
very generous.
Yeah, just very much trying to help people and build the community, along with being obviously a business owner.
Yes. So other than the Utah Jazz picking up a nice win last night, Cleveland Cavaliers, who Jazz will face on Wednesday, had themselves a big game just last night as well. But the only reason we care is because a former Aggie had himself a night and really helped secure that victory in overtime, beating Houston 135-130, and it was Utah State's very own Sam Merrill with a career night, 19 points, and hit some big shots and in a big-time 3 in overtime to help them seal the victory.
Yeah, so career high 19 points we mentioned. So we're seeing Sam Merrill playing a little more and more. Now, he played 30 games as a rookie, and so he was, to be honest, he was kind of in the same position his rookie year as he is now, where he's like fringe rotation. He's getting a bunch of DNP CDs, but he's playing at times. And, well, in this game he got hot, and so they kept him in. I don't think he's played more minutes in a game other than what he did. Well, he might have.
He's been playing a little bit more lately, but certainly he had a huge impact last night. 5 for 10 from 3, perfect at the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, had a steal, had a block. He was a plus 13 off the bench. He led all Cleveland Cavaliers in plus minus.
Yeah, so there was one other game where he played almost the same amount of time. That was early in the year. Of course, that was a bit closer to a blowout. But yeah, in the last 6 games, he's played in 4 of them. The last 6 games for the Cavs, he's played in 4 of them. Played at least 7 minutes in each, played at least 10 minutes in 3 of them. And yeah, playing the season high 24 minutes, 3 seconds, and as you mentioned, all the other stats. So a lot of those either career highs or season highs. So yeah, this is the kind of breakout game you want to see because it gives you a chance to maybe play in more games. If you keep having these, that's what gets you into the rotation because for Sam Merrill, his biggest strength is to go out there and be that guy who will just absolutely chuck threes. And he's very justified in chucking threes. He has like a crazy rate of shooting 3-pointers, given how many minutes he plays. Like he averages, I think he's averaging 9.6 minutes per game. He's averaging 3.4 3-point attempts. Like he shoots a lot of threes, but he's making 45% of them. So like, why wouldn't he be shooting that many threes? And obviously aiding the Cavs in a big way, by hitting like 5 of them in their win over Houston.
Donovan Mitchell had 37 points in that game. And by the way, I guess there's some. We're talking about are there trade rumors surrounding Lauri Markkanen with the Utah Jazz, and that appears to be just other people making stuff up. But there appears to be some trade rumors surrounding Mitchell.
Yeah, I think it was Woj
Should the Cleveland Cavaliers move him?
Yeah, I want to say it was Woj who they put out something and then it got, aggregated by a bunch of other people just pushing it out, where apparently the Miami Heat have interest in Donovan Mitchell, which I guess there's a lot of teams. It's like when here's reports the Jazz are monitoring the Giannis Antetokounmpo situation or the Luka Doncic. Of course they are. There's a lot of guys who are also
the Jazz would like to have Giannis on their team.
There's also a lot of guys who are monitoring the relationship status of a lot of celebrity women. But there's not really a chance
The
that
success rate's about the same.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's a bit of smoke, and the Heat don't have the assets to drag Donovan Mitchell out of Cleveland. Like, for what Cleveland gave up and what they need to get back, and Miami Heat are famously stingy.
Yes. Yes,
it's
they are.
We'll trade you Tyler Hero. Anybody want Tyler Hero? Anybody?
Well,
we promise he's gonna develop into a star, but we're gonna trade him away for a star, but he'll become a star, and we'll give you a 1 pick swap. We have all the leverage.
A jar of sand from South Beach.
Yeah, it's just it's just.
Cleveland and Miami have identical records right now, 15-12.
Yeah, Cleveland currently going through a rough minute because they've got some injuries they're dealing with. It's part of why Sam Merrill may end up getting some more minutes.
Yeah, true.
This is probably why he's played a little bit more as of late. Is that it was Darius Garland went out with an injury, so that backcourt in need of some more players, and in Sam Merrill capable of providing some of that, especially with him being probably the best shooter on the team.
Yeah, but awesome to see it. I was on social media last night and started to see some things, some Cleveland Cavaliers official accounts posting things about Sam. I was like, whoa, look at that. And then they post more, and, he hit another big shot.
It's like, he's going nuts.
Yeah, it's always fun to see.
It's like back in Summer League when he was absolutely going off. It's like, Sam Merrill. Yeah, this guy's good.
You remember this
that
guy? Yes, he can make good shots. All right, we got to take another time out here in the Full Court Press. We want to come back. Stat that blew our minds and our player of the week. If you've got one you would recommend, let us know. 435-339-0321.
It's never too cold or wet to get rid of that old vehicle. Now is the time to earn extra cash for the holidays by calling DD Auto and Salvage. Let them pay you for that junk vehicle. DD Auto and Salvage makes it easy and fast to get rid of your junker vehicles, paying you the most money possible. Pickup is available. DD Auto and Salvage in Logan wants to pay you today. Call 787-1204.
That's 787-1204 today.
See store for details.
Hi, this is Rusty Allen with LSS Insurance. Come learn all about Medicare and Social Security the third Thursday, December 21st at 7 p.m. Call 752-9493 for details. It's never too early to plan for the future. Making an informed decision is key. We will answer all your questions and help you feel confident moving forward. Come the third Thursday, December 21st at 7 p.m. Call LSS at 752-9493 to RSVP. Walk-ins welcome.
Hello, Cache Valley. This is Tom Hale at Blue Sky Restoration, formerly ARS. Remember, got a mess? Call ARS. We want to let you know that here at Blue Sky, we still have the same great staff, we provide the same excellent service, and are ready to help you in your time of need with water mitigation, mold remediation, or a fire. Thank you for trusting our staff and myself for over 35 years with your disaster needs, and we will continue to be here for you. From Blue Sky Restoration to you and yours, we wish you the safest and happiest holidays.
It's time to use your flex spending for 2023. As they say, use it or lose it. Crystal Vision. Crystal Vision, the 3-time gold medal winner and best of Northern Utah, has a great selection of frames with character. Take your current prescription in and let Crystal Vision fit you into a new look for the new year. Your glasses will feel like they were made for you. Crystal Vision on 14th North or online at crystalvision.com.
Need some last-minute gift ideas? Pick up a copy of the Best of Northern Utah magazine. There you'll find all the businesses in our community who were voted the very best in their category. Best place to buy a gift, boutique stores, jewelry, power tools, clothing, dining, and more. There's something for everyone on your list. Go to bestofnorthernutah.com for magazine pickup locations. And please, support local business first this holiday season.
Monday on the Las Vegas Raiders Radio Network, it's a Christmas Day showdown in the AFC West as the Raiders hit the road to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Hi, this is Tim Cates. Join Jason Horowitz and Lincoln Kennedy for all the Week 16 action as these longtime foes square off on Christmas Day. It's the Las Vegas Raiders and Kansas City Chiefs. Christmas Day football. If it's the NFL, it's right here.
Pregame begins Monday morning at 10:30 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan.
Talking the sports you care about. The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan.
Forgot to mention, with the Utah Jazz on this road trip, it's going to cut into our show the next couple of nights because these are East Coast games. They'll be starting a little bit earlier. So shorter editions of the Full Court Press, both on Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll try to cram as much in as we can.
Yeah, we'll do what we can.
Yeah. Something that we haven't done for a little while is the official stat that blew our minds and the official player of the week.
Yeah.
Music. So we need to do it. We need to make room for it. So today we're going to do it. Let's start out with the stat, shall we? The stat that blew our mind first.
Let's take a look at the numbers. It's the stat that blew our minds.
He did what?
On the Full Court Press.
Wow, that blew my mind.
All right, Jason, what's the stat that blew your mind this week?
One thing I saw, Steph Curry the other night didn't make a three-pointer against Portland. He went 0 for 8. That was the first time since November 8th, 2018, that Steph Curry has played in a game in which he did not make a three. A run of 268 games. Longest in NBA history.
You know what the stat that blew my mind? The number 268. Straight games with at least one three-point shot made from Steph Curry.
I can go with another one that I saw.
And it came to an end.
There's another one hasn't happened in a while. Jackson Smith-Njigba, butchered that name. Seattle Seahawks wide receiver, the only rookie since 1960 with multiple game-winning touchdown receptions in the final minute of the fourth quarter. Did it earlier this week against Cleveland, did it against the Eagles, and so he's got 2 of them this year. First rookie since 1960.
That's impressive.
I don't know who it was or if they just didn't record those stats before then. That may be why the cutoff is 1960, because that's by the time they lose track of reliable stats when they go back that far.
Yeah, we don't rehearse these beforehand.
No, we don't.
And it happens from time to time where we will pick something that blows your mind, it blows my mind.
It's just because it's that mind-blowing.
Equally,
it gets 2 of us.
Equally amazing. But yeah, that is incredible with Steph Curry, though. That is a amazing run of success of hitting at least one three-point shot in every game in over 268 straight. So for that, let's go to our player of the week, and I don't know, maybe we'll see if we got the same one on this one too.
There's a good chance.
Time to see who the real MVP is.
If you have a good game, your game is going to say that. You don't have to say it.
Puts a lot of cool things in perspective anytime you're the first time doing something.
It's the Full Court Press Player of the Week.
Let's go!
All right. So I guess I'll go first. Thought of looping in Ian Martinez. I mean, we talked about his great week, but I decided to go with another local team, the Utah Jazz. We've already mentioned his performance, but Colin Sexton last week, 4 games in last week, had 20 points in each of them, averaged 25.3 points, 3.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, shot 57, almost 58% from the field. Certainly a big part of, as I mentioned, Jazz winning 3 out of their last 4. So Colin Sexton, my player of the week.
Okay, good choice. Colin Sexton over the last week had 27 points and 6 assists, 28 points, 1 assist, 27 points, 4 assists, 26 points, 7 assists, and 20 points, 2 assists, in addition to a bunch of rebounds and a few other big game performances. And he was also my player of the week. We were perfect 2 for 2 there, Jason.
Why do we do this? That's not the first time it's happened where we went 2 for 2 on the same thing.
No, look, I was really impressed with Sexton, just his energy. It's something that I noted, even though they were struggling earlier. I know he's had a big week this last week, and I think the Jazz energy seems to reflect that a little bit better. But Sexton has been trying. You can tell he is trying to do something to be an energy guy, a spark guy, to get this team going. And so I've been impressed with his play as of late. It doesn't feel like it's a selfish, I'm just looking out for me, because he's had games 6 assists, 4 assists, 7 assists. He's had games where he's helping his teammates as well.
Yeah, well, there's a way in which, being that spark plug scorer isn't selfish, even though maybe on the court it looks selfish, where he's dribbling around and taking a shot, or maybe taking a slightly contested shot instead of passing to maybe a slightly more open teammate. But you talk about playing your role on a team, there are guys who that's what they're good at. They're good at scoring. And so it's...
you don't have Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how your team is built. You need somebody to be able to fill that role, and he is trying to do that. And then you also don't have Keontae George, who's out with a sore foot. So trying to balance both worlds.
Yeah. And so for some people, and heck, Jordan Clarkson has been this way, in a lot of cases for the Jazz anyway, where it wasn't necessarily selfish for him to take that weird shot, because that weird shot was coming at the end of the shot clock and you needed something.
Right.
And so Jordan Clarkson, it's almost more selfish to not shoot, because that's your role. You're there to shoot. Talked earlier about Danny Sprinkle, who was getting on Darius Brown back when they were at Montana State. He was like, if you don't shoot the ball, I'm going to bench you, because that's what you're there to do in some of these cases. And so for Colin Sexton, in a lot of cases, he's there to shoot the ball and he's there to score. And as long as he's not being too dumb, the way that sometimes, I'm not going to mention names, but Jordan Clarkson and Taylor Horton Tucker know who they are. But if you're not too dumb about it, there's ways in which you can be aggressive. Even as a guard, if you're not passing a ton, there's ways for a Colin Sexton to greatly impact the game. And we've seen that, where he's impacting the game through his scoring and a little bit of playmaking. So hopefully the Jazz are able to keep that. And maybe when all is said and done, Jordan Clarkson, Taylor Horton Tucker, and a lot of these other guys, maybe even Colin Sexton won't be on the team in a couple of years. But maybe Sexton will still be here, because maybe he'll prove that value and say, hey, look, I can be that energy guy. I can be that scorer. Sometimes starter, sometimes bench guy. But I'm going to come in and I'm going to provide my scoring value. Not something that every team needs. Something every team wants. They want guys who can put the ball in the bucket.
Right. Everybody needs somebody who can score. All right, we've got to take another time out here in the Full Court Press. If you've got somebody that we should consider for a player of the week or a stat that blew your mind, feel free to send it in. 435-339-0321.
Ladies, many of you will be fortunate enough to find a small but beautifully wrapped package under your tree with a brown satin ribbon and a box imprinted Jerix. The man who put it there is trying desperately to tell you that you are more precious than diamonds, more valuable than gold, and very, very special. Men who come to Jerix believe their wives deserve the best. And whether they spend $49 or $4,900, the message is the same. Men who come to Jerix are still very much in love. We just thought you should know. Jerix Fine Jewelry, 930 North Main in Logan.
Thank you for letting Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, the Allergy Clinic, and the Hearing Aid Center take care of your family medical needs this year. Make sure you call now for an appointment before the end of the year to utilize your cafeteria funds. Located in Providence and the new Three Peaks Medical Plaza, North Logan. The entire staff, along with Dr. Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette, wish you a safe and wonderful holiday season. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for details. Most insurance products, including Select Med, are accepted.
This is Justin Hamilton, and all of us at Cafe Sabor wish you and your family a safe and happy holiday. For the entire month of December, with every $25 gift card purchase, you will receive a $5 card for free. Great food. It's the perfect gift for family, friends, or coworkers. Purchase a $25 gift card and get $5 additional for free. Happy holidays from all of us at Cafe Sabor.
Beezer Lock and Key specializes in securing your world with their expertise in locks, keys, and hardware. Every aspect of their services is meticulously tailored to ensure your safety. They offer a vast selection of hardware brands and access control options, along with custom master key systems. With Beezer Lock and Key, you have control of your facility's access 24/7. For 28 years, Beezer has provided top-notch security solutions that stand unmatched in the industry. Visit 4th North, 1st West, and Logan, or go to beezerlock.com to discover more.
Check out the new Liberty Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in beautiful Montpelier, Idaho. We've got friendly staff, great service, fresh inventory, and the same values you expect in a small town. Montpelier, Idaho, a small town with great people to serve you, the people of Idaho, Wyoming, and Utah. You can now see most inventory online too at libertycdjr.com. We're the new Liberty Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Montpelier with warranty forever.
Does your special person love tools? Sure, the Christmas tie was nice. Oh, and the purple polo shirt was a safe buy. But if you want to save Christmas this year, make sure to get a Makita Power Tool from Industrial Tool and Supply. Makita Power Tools are the perfect gift for Christmas, and nobody prices Makita tools to sell like Industrial Tool and Supply in Logan.
Make sure to enter to win the Jet Tool Belt Sander with stand in the Home for the Holidays contest.
Weather changes are tough on your transmission. As we move to colder winter weather, AMCO Transmission invites you to bring your vehicle in for preventative maintenance before the snow flies. Have a diesel pickup, Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke? AMCO in Logan is your transmission specialist, and they promise to get you in quickly. For over 50 years, AMCO Total Car Care has been experts in repair for transmissions, brakes, tune-ups, and more. Find your local AMCO. 75 East, 2000 North, 752-1940.
Sunday on Compass Media Network's coverage of the NFL. It's a crucial late-season cross-conference showdown as the AFC South-leading Indianapolis Colts head to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Hi, this is John Rothstein. Join Bill Rosinski, Brian Baldinger, and myself for all the Week 16 action as Desmond Ridder and the Falcons look to keep their playoff hopes alive against Gardner Minshew and the Colts. It's the Falcons and the Colts. If it's the NFL, it's right here.
Pre-game begins Sunday morning at 10:30 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan.
It doesn't matter who you root for. The Full Court Press has all the high school sports covered. The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
Welcome back to the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen, Jason Walker. Hopefully you're being safe if you're out there running around for your last-minute holiday shopping. Get everything ready for this weekend. Utah State's getting ready for this weekend. Bowl game on Saturday. Men's basketball game on Friday. And it's there is a world where you can go to both. It's nice that the bowl game's really not that far away. Go to the basketball game starts at 6, which is a little bit earlier against East Tennessee State. Get a good night's rest. Wake up early in the morning and hit the road. Make it up to Boise in time for the kickoff at 1:30 and enjoy the festivities in Boise.
Yeah, it'll be a very, very nice weekend. Aggies you'd hope they'll be able to wrap up what would end up being a 12-1 slate in non-conference. That would be spectacular if they're able to pull that off. Then see if they can get a win in the bowl game. Maybe have 2 different nights where the A is lit up blue.
That's right.
Although my brother told me that one day this week, or maybe it was last week, where he works early in the morning and normally he'll see the A lit up blue, but it wasn't one of the days where the Aggies won. He was confused. So I guess they're slacking.
Uh-oh.
They're not lighting the A blue.
If you do plan on going to the football game, make sure you get your tickets through the Utah State ticket office. I know there's going to be a pep rally. I think they call it the Basque Center into downtown area for Boise. They'll have the marching band there and a few other things going on. But then there'll be tailgating right before the bowl game. Opportunities for a bunch of fries. See the giant potato get together with other Aggie fans and cheer on Utah State versus Georgia State. We'll continue to break down the matchups as we go through the week, too.
Yeah. I don't think we mentioned this, but we were talking about Al Lewis's pregame, and we were mentioning we couldn't exactly remember what time he was doing it. Then, like, right as we went to break after that, he texted me.
Yes. 11:30.
11:30.
Yeah, expanded pregame.
Expanded pregame for the bowl game. So starting at 11:30, you can hear Al Lewis doing his full pregame breakdown, and I know he always does a good job with that.
All right. Have a great night, everybody.